All this time I forgot my light was off. Probably makes no difference to anybody watching, but it makes a difference to me. Let's get some gloves on and get to action. Get ourselves a screw container. My desk is currently, okay Greg, I guess it's currently a bit of a mess because I just spent most of the evening fixing up my own mistake. I was changing the glass screen on an iPad 6 and I effed up. That's one way of saying it. Yes, I effed up. What happened? It was just a bad job overall. It was one of those ones where the glass has cracked all around the perimeter, so you don't get a long slide of taking the screen off or anything like that at all. It's just crumbly crap, and yeah, it was an awkward job overall. And then when I finally got it all back together, I realised I had left out the screws for the screen, and I was like, sweet Bridget. So, I wasn't going to just hand it back to the customer and sort of hope that it never moves around there. Actually, yeah, so I opened it back up, and unfortunately in the process of opening it, I managed to ever so skillfully tear the freaking home button. I was tired. I was like cantankerous for the fact that I had, forgotten to put those screws in. It's such a simple thing, and I still forgot. And yeah, I put it all back together after I put the screws in, and then I'm like, oh, home button ain't working. And that's when I realised what I'd probably done. Sure enough, I opened it up, and I had done that. Anyway, so I was very fortunate in that it seems like there was only one trace on that flexible flex. Funny that. There was only one trace that was actually broken. I repaired that, and that was a pain in the butt. It was, honestly, if you do things like audio chip on the iPhone 7, or you do touch the M1 on the Mason, you use that 0.01 mil wire, and it's quite fine. Honestly, that stuff felt like I was moving rebar around, big chunks of metal bar on these flexes. It was not fun, but I did get it done, and I had to, ashamedly I have to admit, I had to use hot glue to hold down the various bits and pieces while I did it, and it works. Thank goodness for that. I was fully prepared to just go and buy the person a whole new iPad, to be honest. I wasn't going to sort of like just fob it off them, sort of go, the fact that it says Touch ID not available, don't worry about that. Nothing wrong there. Yeah, I was going to get him a new one, but I thought, give it a shot and try and repair it. Alrighty. Yeah, the day starter distracted me quite right. Crikey, just poked myself in the eye. That's it. I think I'll just give up tonight now. No. Alright, so we've got, what have we got here? Job 682, it's the 1708. Apparently doesn't power up at all. It was bought in this state, and we're going to see if we can restore it. So let's get our USB-C cable and see what we can come up with. Well, we do have some sort of activity. We do have 20 volts. Stuck at 40-50 milliamp. Alright. This could be ISL. Could be a few things. Chris Long, what was I going to talk to you about today? Can't remember. Yeah. It mustn't have been that important. I wanted to say something to you. Something technical. But I can't recall now. My brain's all faded out from doing that freaking iPad 6 home button. Yes, Mladen, a simple job can indeed become quite complicated, as was the case. No, Chris, I think you've missed a few conversations between that. You just got selective memory, I think. I'm sure your wife would confirm. There we go. Okay. Should I lick it? It looks pretty fresh. Might still be edible. Oh yeah. I wonder what soda that is. Looks like what do you call it? Kirk's brand creaming soda. I'm gonna go with Kirk's brand creaming soda. Okay, there's a bit of a gritty noise there. I don't like that. Let's put our protector down. Yeah. Okay. And it's gone all the way through. So we're just going to end up with some sort of corrosion point around here that's inhibiting it. So we'll just get it all disassembled. It's going to need a wash. Hopefully, if we're lucky, it's just the underside and not the keyboard side and things like that. The only gas chromatograph, the only gas analysis system I'm going to need is when I put the hot air onto it. When you put the hot air onto it, it tells you pretty quickly what most of these liquids are. Barriers, do I look like Jason Vilma to you? I don't think I'm Jason Vilma. That's the sort of thing Jason Vilma would do. There's a brand in Australia called Kirk's, and they probably have been bought out by Schweppes by now, but anyway. But yeah, they produce a creaming soda, and it's rather vibrant pink red like that. Hence it being my guess. Because it doesn't have the alcohol smell, so it's not something like Passion Pop. The kitty cats, I haven't had a huge amount to be able to get done with them. They do have their shed at the moment, so they are enjoying the evenings out there. They don't spend much time around, to be honest. During the day they're in the roof, and at night they come down, they get their food, and then they go off to goodness knows where, which bothers me quite a bit. And they're not going to have that for too much longer. And they do visit us quite a bit. They jump over our fence. Ugh, it's like... And I wonder how they get their paws hurt and stuff like that. So, idiotic cats. Stop doing that. I know a lot of people don't like the 1708. I'm not exactly sure why. It's not the easiest unit to work on in terms of the fact, it does have the beloved CD3215s, but it's not the worst either. It's not like it's a 1706 or anything like that. So I'm not sure why people have a degree of disdain towards it. Hey Keith. Okay, what am I missing here? What screw? Is that it? Oh, duh. I took off the... Oh, you can't... Can you? I took off that plastic barrier, but forgot to actually undo what the whole point of that was, which was, of course, the heatsink. I swear I'm pivoting on something. Yep, there we go. Unfortunately, some bits have gotten to the underside of the keyboard, into the biscuit layer, but I'm hoping it's just sort of like incidental, just sitting there on the surface. I've got to... I'll be right back. I've got something in my eye. I don't know what that was. I've sort of got the feeling it's still sort of hanging around, tickling a little bit, but sometimes the more you try to dig it out, the worse you actually make the scenario. Oh yes, the iFlash stations, I do remember those. Commutix, good evening. Steve, a bit frustrated? Yeah, that would be a fairly decent statement to make. Alright. Yep, anyway, as I was saying, I personally quite like the 1708. I don't have any sort of aversion to it, other than the fact that it does rather frequently defeat me. But that's no reason to not like it, just means I have to do better. Alright, let's get way back on our zoom. We're kind of crazy there because we spent most of the time at maximum zoom trying to fix that. Well, we did fix the home button. Yeah, that's some nasty sludge there. Amazingly, the Wi-Fi kind of missed it, which is good. CPU should be okay because we do have the barrier there. That's not good. Let's buy one of the CPU VREGs. Hopefully not too bad. Maybe it was just looked worse than what it was. And again, there's not a problem because that is actually all just one circuit. So basically you got your source, your gate and your drain. That there, I have a feeling, is possibly a problem. Yeah, the CPU MOSFET, the CPU VREG controllers are in a pretty nasty spot really on most Macs. I mean, they tried with the things like the 3332 and stuff like that. They tried putting that plastic barrier in the way to prevent the vents, prevent the liquid coming in through the vent at the back, but yeah. I'm not overly confident about this thing. This is current sense. So what's going on here is you've got power coming into here and then going out probably through the board. And then you've got these two little sense lines coming out. And this one here is corroded, so I suspect it's probably... It's not guaranteed it's disconnected, but it might have higher resistance. Not that that should effectively kill it though. I don't think the liquid came through the keyboard. As far as I can tell, it came through the back. Scratch nose. Let's see, schematics. What am I looking at here? Rightio. So it's this one here. I think, is that the one that's dodgy? Yeah. So continuity mode. I apologise if I am not really pushing my voice out tonight. I'm a little bit train wrecked. Just a little. It seems okay, but I don't know. I just don't trust that. I got the feeling that it's borderline about to break. So we'll come back to that. That there in particular is quite nasty. That's this U8400. It's backlight, isn't it? Yep, backlight, yep. So that really should just be removed outright. Flip over to the other side and see what's happening there too. Thank goodness the CD3215s are fine. Even that there can cause a problem. See how it's bridging across 3 test points? So look at what those test points are. Where are you? What 3 are you? Okay, so it's wireless LAN, shorting with wireless LAN, shorting with wireless LAN. Alright, so that shouldn't be a problem. It might stop the wireless LAN from working, or the Wi-Fi, but that's about all. Unless, of course, something else is sitting on those same I2C lines. SMC looks all good. Alright, so I think we'll clear up the backlight, and I'm definitely going to look at rebuilding that current sense line. I know it's testing okay, but I've had a few in the past where they test okay, but in reality they're not. It's just because the probe happens to bridge across the gap just enough that it makes you think that it's alright. But yeah, the backlight section is definitely a bit of a cluster job. Test pad locations and correlate. Really? Okay, I'll have to have a look at that, Chris. Do you mean they're actually missing the test pads? Because I thought they did have them. Or are you talking about something else? Yeah, Andrew, I would certainly consider it to be conductive. I an idiot. I actually should have washed that over with with some 80/20 first. Because now all I'm doing, in fact I am going to do that. Otherwise all I'm doing is I'm actually converting that sugar into carbon, and that makes things quite a bit worse. Okay, that was not 80/20. That was 100%. Which is why I didn't do a damn thing. But here's some 80/20. And it's reducing the presence of the stuff. Yeah, see? You wouldn't even know it was there now, which is actually a bad thing. But it's a good thing we do know it was there, so we can continue to remove the driver. On the 6 Plus I worked on, they weren't there, the baseband. Okay. I'll have a look at that, Chris. Not overly heartfeltly, but I'll have a look at it. Like I said, the source of the original files is dubious at the start, and it was fun trying to get anywhere with them. I am actually looking at turning Flexboard View into a editor, so you'll be able to also do things like add test pads and parts, change parts, all sorts of stuff like that. You can smell that sugar turning into toffee. Yum yum. Hey Tony. I would be very surprised if this backlight driver was inhibiting the machine from turning on, so I feel like there's something else at play. Because if anything, it should sort of at least try to boot, and then sort of go, nah, get stuffed, mate. I ain't got a good backlight driver. And Paul makes a real butcher job of that. It's okay, we'll just hot air flux, what do you call it? What do we do? Hot air wicket, that's it. The trouble is, Chris, they're all off the back of a truck at some point. It's just some people have found better trucks than I have. And they don't share, little bastards. Very frustrating that we don't get much in the way of sharing when it comes to phone boards. It's kind of strange. It's like we have all this sharing in the laptops, the MacBooks and things like that, but when it comes to the phones and the iPads, it's like it's somebody's personal domain of income. And they're all like, you ain't gonna take this stuff from me. And so instead of us having a open community with people sharing information, it's all locked up. Now I know people are going to say, well, you charge money for your software, and it's like, yeah, I do, but there's also Open Board View. That's free. And I worked on it for several years. Alright, we'll get ourselves another backlight driver. Might just nick one from... yeah, this one will work. Nope, that one will definitely not work. That's way too liquidy. And you just look like a cluster truck. Man, honestly, trying to get decent boards these days is down. Oh, come on. Alright, that's tolerable. compared to the others it is, at least. Yeah, Chris, exactly. They're just becoming another Apple in a way. And I do have a great fear that the M1s and things like that, they are not going to appear like we have found the existing MacBooks. I'm pretty sure they're going to show up in ZXW or something like that before they, well, that's just it, that's all. They're only going to show up in commercial subscription-based data access like that. I think we've pretty much seen the end of MacBooks in general having their board views released publicly like we have to date. And yeah, that's a concern. Because then we basically become beholden, crikey, to an entity that we're not sure if we can really trust. And I mean, I know it's already bad enough that we don't want to trust a lot of the big corporations, but I got a little less trust for some of these smaller ones. Hey, g'day CMR Zapper. I got your chips, not your chips, I got the package today. I'm not sure if you did see the stream earlier. I do particularly like I particularly like this one, the one with the PCB mount. That's a good one. The only thing is when I flip the board over, I really probably have to put the board on a separate piece of wood or something just to lift it up enough so that it can still lay flat. But that's going to be the case no matter what you use, unless it's a short cable extension with a banana socket on the end of that. I don't know how realistic that's going to be. Okay, Mladen, best of luck with work today. I would say this probably really does just need to be thrown into the ultrasonic after that. I will... let's see, where was that pin that I didn't trust? This one here, this current sense pin. Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to find a lower profile for banana plugs like that. About the only thing you could probably do is find one that descends to be central to the edge of the circuit board. That's a bit ridiculous. This is good. No, this is basically, it's what I was trying to do. So yeah, you've got that. And I'm just thinking in terms of when you're flipping the boards, the unfortunate side effect is you definitely do have to have just a riser so you can rest that when it's upside down off the edge. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, we just do a fly lead with a banana socket on it. Fly lead with banana socket could work, but I gotta admit, I like the fact that this is all integrated and it's sturdy. It's a nice piece of work. Yeah, look at that. See, look, that's what I'm talking about. It's got the, you can just see there's something close to a breakdown there. Now I've got to get the hard drive off. Fortunately, at least, yep, that's good. It's easier to get these off when the board is warm. It makes the adhesive let go. Yeah, Chris, that's exactly it. I think that's the thing that jades me a bit, is the fact that you know that they've essentially taken what was given to them for free, and then they've gone and leveraged that to lock everyone out. And I mean, I suppose that's, I mean, I've kind of done that anyway with Flex Board View. But like I said, yeah, we do have open board view. I thought it was a red. This is a red plug. Looks very red to me. Hey, it's a Cliff brand one, same as the what do you call it? 240 volt protective housing thing. That who is it? Big Clive? Yeah, I've got one of those. Well, realistically, I would have gone with red because most of the time when, I mean, I understand black because, yeah, you're right, it is ground. But red was nice for the fact that when we use this for diode mode, then we do plug the positive into there anyway. So, so you're right, yeah. And it's up to the person at least. If you can't work out what you really want to do with that tool and you're doing MacBook repairs, then I say that you probably shouldn't be doing MacBook repairs. Yeah, there I am being all nasty again. People are going to get upset. So you can't expect that from everybody. People all got to learn. It's like, yes, 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 I do agree. People all have to learn. But this is a pretty common thing. Diode mode, we use positive probe to ground. Tell you what, doing this bit of work here is absolute child's play compared to the home button before. I did record the home button repair, but I'm not sure I want to ever watch it. Kind of feel like it would scare me. Well, actually, to be honest, this here is probably the simplest way of going about it, and the one with the least sort of directional offset. And yeah, that's about as good as you're going to get, pretty much. I mean, Harold did also produce one like that, which is basically, I did the same thing and I soldered mine. He bolted his. But I think maybe just a fly lead. Hey, Micromage. I want to melt that drive connector if I can help it. Is that blood coming out from underneath this? Yeah, there's blood under the sensor resistor. We're gonna have to take that off. I'm protecting because I don't want to melt the connector. Doesn't matter if it's just the corner, I still don't want to melt it. It's not going to be the easiest thing either, because these current sense resistors, they're meant to be well, like I say, they got a lot of thermal absorption capability because, well, they're attached to great big... Come on. There we go. Okay, it looks like it was more just hanging out underneath as opposed to corrosion. See, even with the shielding it made it a little bit of a mess. Now let's show how you can't use a micro pencil. Oh, brilliant, Paul. Just throw it all over the place. It's okay, we'll clean that up after. You can see the junk there all around it. Oops. Guess who probably just cut that track? Like a champion, Paul. Like a champion. Just go and drive the knife into the track. Deserves a gold medal, that one. Let's see if it's got continuity. Idiot. Hey, we fix. You can barely hear that thing. Give that a bit of a wash. Someone stole it. Well, there's one less current sense resistor around here. I have no idea where that went. Fantastic. Guess we'll just steal this one. It's sort of weird that it just... Well, actually no, it's not weird at all. It just flew off the face of the face of the bench. Oh well. Hey, Blue Don Rog. Yep. Working late. Yeah, look at that. Plastic spewing out. Yep. That's why you gotta shield them. You watch, I'm going to find that current sense resistor probably stuck on the board somewhere and bridging something important. I'll be like, oh, sorry mate, thought you wanted me on the board. Didn't mean to actually short out PP Buster Ground. Oh, shucks. Actually, that's not so bad. Shorting PP Buster Ground is not the worst thing that can happen. Driving your high side CPU MOSFETs or VREGs, on the other hand, is a bad thing, because that will give you a delicious PP bus to the CPU. Ah, Sonia, no thanks. Those mechanical devilry contraptions can stay well away from me, thank you very much. Okay, this all up. Oh, I did not see this before. That's bad news. That's really bad news. Okay, which one are you? Yep. That's graphics. Okay, well, let us hope that we don't have a completely dead graphics system. Okay, that is all 8020. Now I don't need to worry about stuff getting under these chips. They are not BGA, they're not raised up from the board, they are just like QFN sort of. They're not the DFN or something. I don't know. Q something. DFN is dual, these are quad. Okay, now that we've washed that with 8020, we can rinse with 100. And the 100 will wash away the water that was brought in by the 8020. Homer, I thought I replied to you on the chat, but basically no, I haven't bothered to do anything with that. Not sure there's anything practical I can do. I mean, I know it can probably be bypassed, but it's, yeah, I'll have a hard time justifying it. Those 3 probe points are still torturing me. There we go. Nice and clean. See if we have any change or an improvement. So we still get 20 volts. 50, come on, do better than 50. You mongrel. Mongrel. Certainly it seems like the CD3215 input stages are all good. Ooh, in saying that, it just... You're going to come off on this one? No? That's a big fat no, eh? That's interesting. Does not come off on this one. But it does come off on the other side. Ugh, I hope we don't have a bad connector. It does momentarily come up with the Apple protocol. But that's more at the 5 volt phase, not the 20 volt. Okay, that's interesting. It's not coming up there. Now we'll find out why. Now, if we're lucky, if we're really lucky, it's going to be a fat, juicy short somewhere. Somehow, I don't think we can be that lucky, but we'll have a look. Never know. Might get lucky. I mean, it could be a shonky donkey port, but yeah, it's not super clean, but it's not the worst either. Alright, let's see if we can chase some voltages. Voltage. Not rightly sure which one is which on this. So yeah, we'll just dig around and see what we can find, eh? Okay, fuse. Millivolts. Okay, we've got 5 volts and then nothing. Oh no, damn it. No, we just switched to 20 volts. We're alive now. Ooh. Stop it. When I fiddled around there, all of a sudden it came to life. Is it a bad connector? Maybe this thing just needs to have a bath. Pardon me, because that solder is definitely quite... It's going to be conductive. The only trouble is I don't really want to give it a bath on the basis of the fact that if there is a hint around here about what's going on, I don't want to miss it. Now it's possible there's something gotten in under the Thunderbolt section. Reseat the fuse. What if I refuse? Trying to decide whether I should take this shield off or not. Let's have a look at those CD3215's edge on. Maybe they did get something splattered in underneath. Doesn't really look like it. touch the fuse again. Everyone wants to touch fuses. Well, the fuse doesn't want to be touched. Just checking the various connector edges, just in case there's some big glob of unwanted. That should be fine because that was sealed. I'm sure you can appreciate my disinclination, though, to entertain the concept of the fuse being a problem. I would sooner rather believe that what happened there is by placing the probes on there, I provided a change in the charge, which was enough to make it get over whatever issue it was having. There's a little bit of a bridge down on this fellow. So I have a suspicion this might work once I put it through an ultrasonic. Okay, Greg, take care. I'm just going to clear the port on this just in case as well. Because sometimes these ports get gummed up by whatever's junking out these ones. Okay, we're actually maintaining Apple protocol now, but we're not getting 20 volts. Okay, so our problem's all over the place here. Starting to wonder whether it's the ISL. Yeah, oh wow, it's all over the place. Okay, well, we've lost our 20 volts. Steve K, what did you say at the end? Which bit? The fuse bit? I can't remember which bit you said. I don't keep a tally of these things. Too many people say too many things that aren't worth listening to. So, so tell me what you said. Guan 3215s. It is possible. They're very clean looking, but you know, who knows. Then we can lift them up and have a look. Especially considering we just wet that one. Mind you, it could be the fact that we wet it that it's misbehaving. Ugh. The fuse. The fuse, though, wouldn't mean... If it was the fuse, it should only affect one of the channels, but this now is misbehaving on all of them. Now, it could be a zombie fuse, yes. But like I said, it should only be affecting one side, if that's the case. I'm going to lift up one of these. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but tiredness be damned, eh? Yeah, I saw it. Nothing under that. Thanks for nothing, everybody. That'll teach me. Trusting YouTube. Hey, Mohammed. And another Mohammed. Who knows if those balls actually worked out right. It's a bit game of me to stick the chip straight back down. In theory, it works. In reality, it's hard to say. Oh, by the way, Catherine, good to see that you found a family for Nougat. We've got our 20 volts back. So I'm going to guess it was actually just liquid under the chip, as opposed to there being a fault. Yeah. I think it was just liquid from when I was washing off the sugar water. I don't think it was actually a problem with the chip. Yeah, because everything's working just dandy fine, except for the fact that we're stuck at 53 milliamp. What? Damn it. Why has nobody put correct resistance values up here? Pardon me. It's grievously disappointing. Yeah, the ISL, I guess. I really don't want it to be the ISL because you can imagine why. Let's see. 5.85. 2. Yeah, they seem reasonable-ish. A3X. There's a million reasons why it could be doing that. It's pretty hard for anybody to be able to actually diagnose remotely like that. Seriously, dozens upon dozens of possible causes. ISL. Why would it be the ISL? Why do we pick on the ISL? Hey, Just Cliff. What I hate about the ISLs on this is the fact that they're located right next to this bank of tantrum caps. Yeah, the ISL looks perfectly clean under there, but it doesn't mean it's not electrically damaged. Anyway, we'll put it in our possibles box so that it has been now protected, just in case it is a perfectly good ISL. We don't throw those out. Not yet, they're still too damned expensive. Yeah, Prada, funnily enough, they're not actually rotated as such, but okay, I'll explain to you why they are the way they are. What it is in the board view file, the only data you have is the position of the pins and the fact that they're associated with the same part. That's all you've got. And they have made it with some of the parts that the pins are not actually where the pins really are. And then my program goes along and it does the best it can to guess what the part shape is based on the placement of the pins. So it tries to find the minimum bounding box for the part. So it creates a box and it just sort of like keeps turning it around the pins, shrinking and enlarging as required. And then when it finds what it considers to be the minimal box, it says, alright, maybe that's it. It's not always correct, as you can see, but it does do a pretty good job overall. Now I am actually working on a system that will allow us to sort of actually manually rectify such things and sort of go, well, this chip actually is rotated at a certain angle, and it's more of an amendment system. So still use the existing BRD files that we have, but then you'll have an amendment layer that gets loaded on top and corrects these sort of issues. Again, it's just one of many different things that I have got planned. And of course, unfortunately, these things do take time. A long time. Okay, I'm just looking for my little box of parts. Yeah, well, Lewis is a professional complainer. I mean, he does come from New York. You got to give him credit for that. I mean, that's his speciality. He could probably complain that, we got a cough. Probably a good thing you didn't hear what I was saying. What's water? Oh wow, this one's actually... Are you really reballed, or you just happen to... I genuinely can't tell if that's reballed, or I just happen to pull it off the board and it looks like it's reballed. Because there are a couple of slightly dissimilar... Yeah, no, this is a pull, so I'm gonna have to reball this one. The D strain. Yeah. Ain't no Delta around here. Actually, that's not true. Australia's inundated with it at the moment. So many people that are just like, oh, let's see, I'm just going to go travel. Honestly, you know, you get those funguses that turn ants and spiders and other critters into zombies. Well, I think COVID does that to some people, and it makes them travelers. Because honestly, it's crazy how many people start traveling. They get COVID, they go traveling, and they just make so many visits to various places, like above and beyond the norm. So yeah, I think COVID is like doing the fungus style thing, getting into people's brains and making them travelers in order to keep itself spreading. Crafty little bastard. There's one pad there that's a bit dubious, but I'm hoping it will actually clean up, sort of thing, once we put the stencil over it. Just trying to find a stencil that's got what I need. Nature doesn't care about your feelings or rights. Too right about that. Yeah, Chris, I'm in the same boat as you on that one. I understand people being casual about it, and you know, I sort of accept that that's, you know, the choice to a degree. Except for the fact that when they go along, they expect everyone else to play with them as well. And it's like, no, we don't want to play with you. You know, you can go play on your own, whatever, but no one else is going to play with you. So just leave us the hell out of it. And they're like, it's not fair. It's like, well, you know, you want your choice. Choices have consequences, just like we make a choice to not go out and play and we get bored or whatever and we've got to rearrange our lives. Stop whinging about the fact that you get your choice, but you have your consequences. That's the trouble, is so many times in life people want to have their freedom of choice, but they don't want to take along with it the repercussions of that choice. I guess this is the same old thing, you know, we all have a natural tendency to want to have our cake and eat it too, as they say. As much as that's pretty much always considered a bit of a dumb saying, but anyway, you get the gist of it. And it's true, we are inherently like that. We're greedy creatures, pretty much all biological systems agree. But the key is to fight that greediness and try become more than just your biological behavior. Dodgy pads and no stuff? I don't know. Oh yeah, the enemy is definitely us. Yeah, nice little solder cake. I should sell these down the street market. Probably sold quite a few of them. So it protects you from COVID. People will buy it. And they'll go, what's in it? And I'll go, oh well, it's, let's see, it's got lead and it's got tin, lots of tin. It'll protect you from COVID, and it will, because of the lead, it will keep the environmentalists away. Around here, it's sort of like freaking hotcakes. Just kidding, it really wouldn't. I don't mean to be that cruel. I guess I'm feeling just a little bit jaded lately. It's 270 and 270 and 15. But you are quite correct, Jim. The enemy is us. Uh-oh. Stencil just went bonk. It's kind of crazy how the pattern on that stencil, just the, almost looks like some sort of digital state display. Yeah, look. A beautiful lead kidney. I'm gonna get into trouble. I'm gonna get demonetized. Misleading people, that sort of crap. Some kid's gonna watch this and go, Mommy, the man on the internet said I can have lead. I'm like, what? What now? I didn't say that. No, I didn't. Can't trust people to not be idiots, including myself. After all, I did tear the freaking iPhone 6 home button tonight. Not iPhone, iPad. Ah, dear. Okay, bottom right. I'm kind of curious, Chris, how do you have so much time at the moment to be sitting here watching a live stream? I thought you're a very busy man these days. God, I hate this chip sometimes. And I hate it when my tweezers do that. What's happening there is that the tweezers have got flux on the tips and it sticks to the chip. And so when I try to let go of the chip, the tweezers like snap off, and when they snap off they cause the chip to shift. Okay. Oh, Lord help us if we find another planet with life. We'll probably destroy that in quick succession. I do find it interesting though that we're looking at Mars in the sense of like, it's probably easier for us to stop being idiots on this planet than it will be to fix Mars up to the point where we can live on it. But by the same token, I kind of appreciate the technology drive because in some ways it might actually help us back here rectify the issues that we're creating or have already created. Crap, I don't know if this is reflowed or not. Oh, there it goes. I haven't got enough air to make it dance. One thing I do hope we get sorted out pretty soon is actually the development of sodium-ion batteries. They won't have the energy density of lithium-ion, but I would dearly like to see sodium-ion batteries become a mainstay for stationary applications such as home storage or just bulk network storage, and then leave the lithium for EVs and things that need that extra bit of density. Should measure that cap just in case it's short. It'd be funny if it was. Yeah, that's not funny, is it, Paul? Okay, 23 ohms. A bit worried there for a second. Alright, well, it appears that the ISL was functioning because we haven't got a change here. Yeah, still 50 odd milliamp. Well, look, I think it's getting a bit late now. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I've already made enough mistakes tonight. I don't need to be making more. So we'll leave this as is, and I'll come and tackle it in the morning to see if my iPad is doing okay. Damn it. Yep, exactly what I was worried about with the iPad. Oh no, you didn't, did you? Sorry, I'm getting all whiny and cryy here because this thing's been a real nightmare. I kind of feel like, you son of a gun, you've fallen through. God damn. The bonding adhesive did not work. This iPad, I tell you, I'm going to be better off just getting them a replacement. And now this button doesn't want to work. This button up here is getting stuck. But yeah, that home button is sunk off. Just can't win, can you, Paul? I mean, it clicks, but I can tell it's sunken. Or at least I think it is. Is it, Paul, or is it not? Yeah, it is sunken a little bit. Yeah, it's bottoming out. Yep, so I'm going to have to take it off again and work on that. And this, that's not even my fault. It just feels stuck and sticky. And it's not bonding down here, which is so typical. Probably because I've misaligned the cables just a smidge. And now it won't clamp down. Ugh. Give up for tonight. Yep. Yeah. Make sure you have one spacer behind the button gasket. Yeah, there is only one spacer. Yep. It was working before just fine, but I think it just lost the bonding because I had to take it all off again. So, what a nuisance. Alright, that's it. Dud night. So, we had more success earlier this afternoon, but that's the way it goes these times. Anyway, I'll catch all of you later. You'll take care. Until next time, see yous.